The email landed in my inbox amidst the dust and heat of the forward operating base. Subject: House closing documents. My brow furrowed. Sarah and I hadn't discussed selling our home. We loved that place, the small garden she'd painstakingly cultivated, the marks on the doorframe charting our kids' heights. I clicked it open, and the reality hit me like a mortar blast. Our house, our sanctuary, was sold. The closing was next week. My deployment had another 3 months. My name is David, and at 35, serving my country was my pride. But this email, this unilateral decision from the woman I'd loved since college, felt like a deeper kind of wound. Sarah had always been my rock, the steady force while I navigated the unpredictable world of military life. We'd built our life together, brick by metaphorical brick. Now, one of those foundational bricks had been silently removed. Panic clawed at my throat. I tried calling her, but it went straight to voicemail. Text messages remained unread. Back home, it was the middle of the night. I spent the rest of my shift in a daze, replaying our last conversations, searching for any hint of dissatisfaction, any sign of this seismic shift. There had been none. We'd talked about the kids, about her volunteer work, about the leaky faucet I promised to fix upon my return. Days crawled by. Finally, I managed to get Sarah on the phone. Her voice was strained, distant. When I asked about the house, a long silence stretched between us. Then, she spoke, her words measured and unsettling. "David," she began, her voice thick with unshed tears, "I did it for us. For the kids." Her explanation unraveled a secret she'd kept hidden, a burden she'd carried alone. Our youngest child, Lily, had been diagnosed with a rare medical condition. The specialists were hours away, in a city with a renowned children's hospital. Our insurance wouldn't fully cover the treatments, the therapies, the potential surgeries. Sarah had seen the mounting bills, the worry etched on my face during my last leave, and she'd taken drastic action. The only way she saw to secure Lily's future, to afford the best possible care, was to sell our house and move closer to the hospital. The anger I initially felt morphed into a confusing mix of shock, guilt, and a strange sort of understanding. She hadn't betrayed me out of malice, but out of a fierce, protective love for our child. She'd made a unilateral decision, a huge one, without consulting me, but her motivation was undeniably pure. Returning home was surreal. Our familiar street led to an empty lot. Sarah and the kids were in a small, rented apartment near the hospital. Lily was undergoing tests, her future uncertain. The money from the house sale was in a separate account, earmarked solely for Lily's medical expenses. The next few months were a whirlwind of doctor appointments, therapy sessions, and navigating a new city. Sarah and I were both emotionally raw, the weight of Lily's illness pressing down on us. We had difficult conversations, the silence between us heavy with unspoken resentments and shared anxieties. I struggled with the fact that such a monumental decision had been made without my input, while Sarah grappled with the guilt of keeping it a secret. Slowly, painstakingly, we began to rebuild. Our focus shifted entirely to Lily's well-being. We learned to communicate more openly, to lean on each other in ways we hadn't before. The sale of the house, while initially a source of immense pain and confusion, became the catalyst for a deeper understanding of our priorities. Years passed. Lily, thanks to the dedicated medical team and Sarah's unwavering advocacy, thrived. Our relationship, though scarred, had deepened. We bought a new, smaller house, closer to Lily's school and the hospital. One evening, while looking through old photos, we found a picture of our first house. Sarah smiled sadly. "I did what I thought was best," she said softly. I took her hand. "I know," I replied. And we got through it, together. The house was gone, but our family, tested by fire, remained. Sometimes, the most shocking decisions are born not of malice, but of a desperate, fierce love that redefines everything.